Students, now going further, we will again see what do you mean by uniform circular motion. Just a recap. And what you had studied in uniform circular motion, that for any body to perform a circular motion, a force is required which is directed towards the center, and that is known as the centripetal force. Here you can see in the figure, there is a body performing circular motion and there is a centripetal force directed towards the center. Now this centripetal force must be constantly be there, acting on it. If it is not going to act, then what will happen? The body will go along a straight line. Now how we have to now find out the magnitude of the centripetal force. What do you mean by magnitude? Now when I say the length of the cloth is 10 meters, then 10 is the magnitude. That is the numerical value. So how to find out how much is the centripetal force? Now we will find that for a particular planet. Now suppose the mass of a body is m, the speed of the body is v, and r is the radius of the circle. Then it has been found out that F, that is the force, centripetal force, is equal to mass multiplied by square of the speed upon r, that is mv square r. You do not have the derivation of this formula. This you are going to do it in the 11th standard. Okay, so you have to now over here just remember that F is given as, that is the centripetal force is given as mv square upon r for a body performing circular motion. Now here you can see I have drawn a planet which is orbiting around the sun. Now we know that centripetal force F is equal to mv square upon r. We also know that speed is equal to distance upon time. Now when this planet is orbiting, now what is going to be the distance? That is the circumference. The circumference is taken as 2 pi r. Now time taken will be the time taken for one revolution, and that is known as the time period, that is capital T. So now V will be equal to distance upon time. Distance is 2 pi r. The time period is T. So V becomes equal to 2 pi r upon T. Now F is equal to mv square upon r. Now instead of V, we will put 2 pi r upon T and again whole square. When you expand this whole square, it becomes 4. 2 will become 4. Pi will become pi square. R will become r square. Okay, and m will be as it is. Whole thing upon T square and that whole thing upon r. So when we further simplify it, you will get it equal to 4m pi square r square upon T square into 1 upon r. Okay, now solving further, you will see that this F is equal to 4m pi square r square upon T square into 1 upon r. This was the last statement. Now 1 r will get cut and we get 4m pi square r upon T square. Now we will do one thing. We will multiply and divide by r square. So whatever F is equal to you got, multiply by r square and divide also by r square. Why we are doing this? I want to bring into bracket r cube upon T square. Why I want to bring this? Because you remember in Kepler's third law, it was told T square upon r cube is constant. But I'm having T at the bottom and I'm having r at the, here 1 minute, I have to write, fine. So what I did from here, I took this r along with this and wrote r cube. I took this T and I put it over here. So ultimately when you open the bracket, you get the same thing, that is 4m pi square r cube, and here r square T square. Now according to Kepler's third law, we know that T square upon r cube is constant. So when T square upon r cube is constant, what will be r cube upon T square? 1 upon k, because here we are having r cube upon T square. So r cube upon T square is 1 upon k. So I will replace this. F is equal to, I will write this whole thing, and instead of this bracket, I will write 1 upon k. So this becomes 4m pi square r square k. Now this 4m pi square k, now 4 is a constant number. Mass of the planet will not change. Okay, तो वो भी constant, that is also constant. Pi square is also constant. And then you have k itself, which is constant. So this entire thing is constant. So what is changing is only your r. So that means f depends on r. And since r square is in the denominator, it means that it is inversely proportional. So we can write that force, the centripetal force, is inversely proportional to r square. Now this is a very important statement, that is force is inversely proportional to r square, and this was concluded by Newton. Now this, what we are doing is we are applying the Kepler's third law and Newton's findings. So Newton concluded that the centripetal force, which is the force acting on the planet and is responsible for its circular motion, it must be inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the planet and the sun. Now when I say square of the distance, what is r? R is nothing but the radius, and radius is the distance between the planet and the sun. For example, now look over here. Now when we take the radius, here we take the radius. Now this is the radius. So this is the distance between two. Here also this is the r, that is the distance between the two. So f is directly inversely proportional to the square of this distance. Newton also identified this force with the force of gravity, and he told that this centripetal force is nothing but force of gravity. And then he made one more law known as the inverse square law of gravitation. And the gravitation force, he also told, is much weaker than other forces in nature. But this force controls the universe and decides its future. Though it is very weak, but still it is universally present, and it is because of this particular force, gravitational force, that the huge masses of planets, stars and other constituents of the universe, they are in the position wherever they are. Okay, now there is one question asked: is there a gravitational force between two objects kept on a table, or between you and your friend sitting next to you? If yes, why don't the two move towards each other? Okay, so this already at the beginning of the lesson I had explained you. That is because sometimes these forces cancel each other. Sometimes these forces are so small that they cannot pull or attract anyone. So this completes your page 5 explanation.